"Don't worry, honey, I'll be back." That is the number one sentence that we hear from our moms, especially when we are younger. And so pretty much all our lives, if we were lucky enough to have a mom like that, we were reassured that she is going to come back. Maybe not as much when we're growing older, but for a majority of our childhood, especially those really early years, that is the one thing that we just know. Mom is often one of the first words that we learn, and think about how often we are saying this word throughout our lifetime. When we are children, it is so much. And even when we grow older, the first thing that many of us would think if we need help or support, or just a general question about how to actually live your life, what do? We call our moms because they always know best. What I've also found is that as soon as a child is tired, sick, or sad, the one thing it wants is their mama. So while we maybe sometimes forget that the older we grow, the less we need them, there was once a time where so much of our entire world revolved around our mom. If you have watched some of my videos already, then you know that about 2 years ago, my mom all of a sudden passed away out of nowhere. And I think I completely underestimated before that how big of a role she played in my life. Obviously, I knew that I loved her so much and she mattered to me so much. But really through my work with children, I see more and more what it actually means. It's not just a word or just a role, but it's so much more than that. It's like a safe haven for us that we can come to no matter what. It's this one thing, this one constant in your life that you know you can always count on. You know that she's going to be there when things are going really sideways. And all of a sudden, with the death of our moms, that is completely taken away. And now we have to deal with the fact that she's never going to come back. And of course, we have friends and family and our dads and other people in our lives, but they are never going to fulfill that same role that our moms played. It is simply impossible because we literally grew in our mom's belly for 9 months. Think about the intensity of that connection. And that is why it's so incredibly tough when we lose our moms, because all of a sudden, the number one thing that we knew we can always be sure about, we knew that she was always going to come back because that's what we've been hearing all our childhood. And that is no longer the case. So this is an incredibly tough situation for us emotionally, and especially for the brain to understand. Like sometimes I still struggle with the fact that I just can't call my mom. I can't just message my mom. It's almost as if this big lie has just been revealed. Like, oh wait, what? You're not gonna come back every time? This was not what you told me when we were younger, was it? And obviously, not everybody is going to lose their mom the same way than I did, but I really do believe that at any stage, losing your mom is going to cause such an internal fight and such an internal struggle that is really so difficult to overcome, especially because we just don't understand it. To me, it makes no sense that my mom isn't here anymore, because my brain is obviously still working with 27 years of her being there. And now that is no longer the case, and you kind of have to figure out how to just manage everything by yourself. Not that we didn't manage life by ourselves before, but it's just this little feeling of, even if things go so wrong, it's okay because I think my mom can fix it. Because that's what happens when we're children. We are so focused on our moms and the fact that they can just solve everything and they can hold you and they can hug you and they can tell you everything is going to be okay. And even if they're away for a couple of weeks, then they're gonna be back and you can hug them again and you can be close to them again. And all of that is suddenly gone. So if you are going through the loss of your mom, then I want you to know that no matter how difficult these feelings are feeling, and no matter how emotionally of a mess you are, that is totally okay. And it is so normal, because I think we underestimate and we forget how it was when we were children. And you may have heard of your inner child. If you have not, it's definitely a topic worth looking up. But for our inner child, which is still there all the time, because that was us once. If you think back now to 5 years, you're not going to think, well, that was separately to who I am now. You're going to think, well, this is part of why I am the way I am today. And so this time where we're children, which is quite a long time if you think about it, let's say 15 years where we're really attached to them, that is half of my life that I was so attached to my mom. And that is half of my life that I had this insurance. And to deal with this pain is an incredibly tough thing to do that I think so many of us underestimate because it is so little spoken about. So if you are grieving your mom even years later, I get it. And if you are feeling sad every time that you see a mom and a daughter walking together or a mom and a son, then I get that because I have that same feeling. Every time I see this bond, I'm just like, wait a minute. This is what it's supposed to be like. And every time that you start to be too tough on yourself, you're expecting yourself to just be okay, to just move on and to continue with your life. And there's probably people in your life that expect the same thing from you. Every time that comes up, I want you to remember this video. I want you to remember the way you grow up. I want you to remember how close you were to your mom, how often you said the word mom. I want you to think about every time that you were crying as a little child and you wanted your mom there when you were tired and all you wanted was for her to just come home and to be there and to comfort you. Think about those times because it really does matter so much because the bond that we once had was way too strong for us to just get over it. It is literally an entire reconstruction of our brain and life as we know it. And I truly believe that it will take a very long time to actually understand this, internalize it, and be okay with it, if that is something that is possible at all.